Oh, look, we're filming already, and I'm just moving the tripod around. That'll work. All right, let's talk about the different positions you should consider filling for your village defense or your retreat defense. We're all living here. The world's gone crazy, and we start our day with a prayer meeting, and then we all get in the garden. And what happens if we get attacked? Right? Because you think that's going to happen. That's going to happen. First position you need a leader. You need a leader. This is not the type of thing that we run by committee. This is not the type of thing that we discuss at length and go over our various courses of action. When the enemy is moving on you and they are shooting at you and things are happening, is not the time to figure out who's in charge. This should be already known to everyone. Now, it may not be your group leader, your crew leader, your tribe leader, your village elder, or whatever. He may still be your leader, the chief, right? You may have a war chief. Oh yeah, did you ever think about that? You may have a war chief. What if your crew, let's say you're the leader and you're a lawyer or an engineer or, whatever, insurance salesman, person, woman, I don't care. And somebody joins your crew who's a former infantryman with 3 tours of combat in Afghanistan and Iraq. Who do you think should be in charge of your security? Right? Think about it. Now, he may not have the skills to run the whole group, and decide issues of, how are we going to feed this and what are we going to do about this and that. He may not. Let's just say they're not your leader. They probably need to be your war leader. Right? It's just like you should probably choose your most medically qualified person to be your doc of your group. Yeah, I know an EMT is nothing like a emergency room, nurse. But if that's all you got, do the best you can with what you got where you're at, right? Let them run it. They know more than you do. So you need a leader. And by that leader, I mean you need a war leader. Who's going to be telling people what to do and where to go? As I said in the first video, people should already know that initially. But things change and things have to be adjusted. And so who is the one we all answer to in this situation? Boom, your leader. Unity of command. It's a principle of war. Okay, so that's one. And in no particular order, you're going to need commo. You should probably have a head commo person, somebody who's going to handle what frequency we're on today, what radios we're using, before that, what radios we're buying, somebody who's going to handle communications between your village and another village, your retreat and another retreat, your allies, if you will, somebody who's going to make sure that the batteries are changed out. It's an individual responsibility. Yep, somebody who's going to make sure that the batteries are changed out and that type of thing. Depending on how good they are at things, they can go further. I submit your communications person should be the one to come up with the different signals for things. This means we're being attacked. This means retreat. This means that. Could be a gong, like I said in the earlier video. Could be a shofar. It could be, whatever. But commo's commo. It's not just ham radio or Baofangs or, FRS radio. Communications is communications, right? You're going to need an intelligence person. We call it an S2 or a G2 in the military. And this person ideally is responsible for, on the easy side, this is what we know about everything going on around our camp. So here we are on a map, and these bad guys are here, and these are good guys here, and this is our main avenue of approach, and this is here, and this is going on over here. They keep the situation update. Again, it's one person. Now, could it be a cell? Sure, if you've got a lot of people, you could have 30 people in your intel cell. But somebody should have the rows pinned on them to get all this information together. And not only do they do that, but if you're sophisticated, they're running your defensive source network. They're running your assets that are not even in your village, but they have a way to contact them and get information to and from them and that kind of thing. And so they're not just being passive about this is what I heard. They're out actually getting information. Your intel person should be very involved in the sending out of your patrols. Meaning, hey, we need to go here to find out, I need this information. And it's right here. We need to send them out. And that's a negotiation between them and, I guess, the next person I'm going to talk about. You need an operations. And again, hey, we're talking about defending a village. So, of course, we're going to be thinking militarily, right? You need an operations officer. Not necessarily the boss. The boss has a lot of things to think about. Not necessarily your war chief. Maybe he works for your war chief or she works for your war chief. But they are coordinating all the different aspects of, all right, we need to send a patrol out here. Well, that patrol's got to do this, that, and the other thing. And when that patrol gets in trouble, then we need to send these guys to help them, to bring them back. Dun, 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 dun. Depending on how complicated you get, you could have a whole shop, a whole group of people doing that. Again, you don't have that many people. I get it. Many times, I have seen this. The leader is the war chief, is the operations officer. That starts putting a lot of pressure on one person. And also, if that person takes a round to the belly, yeah, forbid, that's a lot of important positions that are not filled, right? So you need that. You're going to probably, unfortunately, need medical. When your village is being attacked, you should have a casualty collection point. You should have a casualty treatment plan. Who is bringing the wounded village member to the place where we're going to treat them, take care of them, keep them alive, hopefully. Who's doing that? It's typically not the medic. The medic is going to be dealing with wounded people at the casualty collection point or at the clinic or at the whatever you have. And so who's bringing those people to them? Well, that has to be practiced. That has to be discussed. And who's in charge of that training? Your medical person, in conjunction with your operations person who's got to fit that into the schedule with everything else that your group's trying to do. Let's say you're going to need medical. I think you're probably going to need fire, like fire truck, fire brigade, fire whatever. What do we do when buildings catch on fire? This is something to think about. When you're under attack and a building catches on fire, you might be letting it burn. It does no good to all line up in a bucket brigade when there's still guys shooting at people, right? Tell that to the person whose house that is. Tell that to the people whose kids are in that building, right? Something to think about. So fire suppression and that kind of thing. Somebody should be in charge of that. Somebody should have a plan for that. And again, everybody should know the plan. A village is small. Everybody should know the general plans in broad strokes. Handling the details of it, scheduling the training of it, that falls to different individuals. What else? Transportation. Who's heading your convoy? You know, who's making sure the vehicles are good to go if we have to escape or if we're doing a patrol and, you know, I want my vehicles to be able to get out there and get back with no issues. Who's handling the training of vehicle recovery procedure? You know, again, I get it. Most of you won't get anywhere close to this because you're also trying to grow gardens. You're also trying to build cabins. You're also trying to develop a water system. You're also working on sanitation. Can you start to get a sense of why I constantly push you to do more? To do more. Because you're not going to get it all done. And one thing could kill you. Bad sanitation, people pooping on the ground and it getting into your water supply could kill everybody. So you got to take care of these things, and you got to think about them. And again, no man or woman is an island. You really can't do it by yourself. So you're going to need people. And that, I said that in the last video, I say it all the time. You need to work harder on getting more people. You really do. I think the Shofarians are doing really, really well. I know we're doing really well compared to every group I know about. And we still talk about we want more people. Now, this is not my call for you to write me an email and say, I want to come. It doesn't work that way. But my point is, we don't think we have enough. And I know we probably have more than the vast majority of you. So, start thinking about those. I'm sure I forgot something. I don't have a list that I wrote down ahead of time, but I was just thinking about that. You know, you need a leader, you need a war chief, you need a operations intelligence, you need a fire truck, I think, people, you know, fire brigade, whatever. If you're going to have a reaction force, you're going to need subunit leaders, because if you know anything, and if you get a military guy or gal, I guess, to be your advisor on that, you're going to need a reaction force divided into, at a minimum, 2 subgroups, because it's called fire and maneuver. And so you're going to have 2 subgroup leaders. Again, and while they're doing that, who's watching the babies? Who's manning the gate? Yeah, I could use 500 people. It's above Dunbar's number. Yes, it is. But there it is. Do the best you can with what you got where you're at. And perhaps I will see you out there.